minutes, fairly short, but I'm going to ask you to try and attempt to give us a longer summary of that first half.
Well, I think as Ali finished the commentary, is a game neither team wants to lose, and it looked like that rather than either team actually wanting to win it. They both sort of sat. It was very cagey. A lot of respect shown, I think, from both teams. But because of that, it was limited for chances, So it was. I expect it to open up a bit second half. Certainly, there wasn't too much excitement in that first half for sure. But like I say, it was two good teams sort of feeling each other out a little bit without committing too much forward. So it'd be interesting to see second half. Does either team really want to go and win this game, or would they both be happy coming away with a point?
It's expected, as we thought, with the possession mark. So City 68, Forest 32. It's probably not expected in what we thought about the chances. Just one shot on target for each team in that first half. Pretty soft chances as well for each team. Why do you think that is?
Again, just what Kit's saying there. Both teams don't want to lose by the looks of it. And second half, there's one thing for sure, things can only get better. There's not been a great deal of quality. City have offered a little bit out wide. Not too much, a few attempts at goal, but not what you would expect. I'm getting from Forest what I actually expected. Sit deep and maybe try to go long, try and get a set play, try and get a chance from a set play. That hasn't happened, so that's why the game at the moment is a stalemate and there's not too much happening. Like I say, it can only get better second half.
We sincerely hope so. In terms of that caginess of the first half, Kit, do you think it's a case, could both teams be almost waiting for the other team to have a slip?
Yeah, I mean, it's looked a bit like that, but I think, you can't really rely on that. The onus is on you to go and do something rather than just rely on a mistake. So I think, like I said, it'd be interesting to see how much both teams do actually want to go and win this, or how much they are comfortable with taking a point out of it. So it'd be interesting to see. I mean, you'd like to see it open up a bit more, but it's so tight. We're just talking at the top of the programme how tight it is all the way through now. So points are precious. Points are very, very precious at this stage of the season. As Norm was saying earlier, Forest, they're not known to be in this area, this situation so late on in the season. So I think they'll look at a point as a valuable one. And I don't think, because Forest have done so well and such a good side, I don't think City would be overly disappointed with a point, but you'd like to see someone go and try and win it. But
yeah.
then if you go and do that, you're going to open the door a little bit and leave yourself vulnerable to the counter. So it's that very cagey game.
Would like to see someone create some chances. Would be nice in a game of football. Do you think perhaps Nuno will be happier at the moment in terms of how his team has played in that first half, Mark? Maybe just adding a little bit of maybe speed in attack?
No, I think he's set up the team as per normal. Totally expected what's happening at the moment in the game. Try and frustrate City. That's what the tactic is. Again, hopefully get a counter-attack, get a chance from a set play. He'll be happy with that. He'll go in at half-time 0-0 and he'll be totally happy with that. Same against Arsenal midweek. He was happy at 0-0. So it's a good result for Forest, this is, if it stays like it is. So whether the game's dour or not, the manager won't be too bothered about it.
If it stays like this, it'll be 12 clean sheets for Sells in goal. That's a phenomenal record for a keeper.
I used to aim for 16 myself. If you got 16 clean sheets in the season when you did the stats, you could guarantee that you'd probably finish around the top 6. So 12 is 4 away. So I was surprised. If another four clean sheets, Forest will be in the top 6, and that's how the stats over years work out. That's what I used to look at as a keeper. But he's earned it. He's been top draw this season, Matt Sells.
I mean, also, I do think saying about Forest will be pleased with a clean sheet. I think City will as well. We've not had too many this season. So I think from Pep's point of view, to go in and be so solid, I mean, they had the one sort of half chance for Wood. He probably should have done a little bit better because the lob was on, but he didn't get hold of it at all. So it's a very, very comfortable save. But other than that, City have defended very, very well. And we've not been saying that too often this season. So from a City point of view, I think that was a real solid defensive display. Like I say, we all want to see great attacking football, of course we do, but sometimes you've got to look at the other side of it a little bit now and think, well done you boys defensively as a unit. It was really good from City's point of view. So I think they'll be very pleased with that.
Thank you, Kit.
On the positive.
I love that. Kit's found a positive there. We appreciate that. And yes, of course, I joke, but a clean sheet at this point is always a positive in the game. We're going to head back over now to the City ground where FG and Michael Brown are pitchside.
Yeah, welcome back to the City ground. Half-time, Manchester City 0, Nottingham Forest 0. Not much to discuss. It's like a game of chess at the minute, isn't it?
Do you know what? I've just been reading some of the comments on social, on websites, etc. about match reports of the game, and it was like, it wasn't a classic. Let's just pretend that didn't happen. The sun's shining, fantastic, obviously, afternoon to play football, but I think we've controlled it. I think we've moved them around where we possibly can. Nico was a wonderful strike off the side of the post. Bernardo Silva's had an opportunity. So we've had a couple of chances here and there. Jeremy Doku's shot. We've got to create more. We've got to put them under more pressure. But we understand the threat that they've got.
Do you think there'll be a point in the game where Pep will ask, the players to move the ball a little bit quicker, potentially get it out wide a little bit more, try and create those 1v1 situations? Savinho and Doku have tried. They've got past the fullbacks a couple of times. But it is just really, really hard to break that down, isn't it?
The space hasn't been there because of the build-up sort of time that we do, and it's all about control. Phil Foden stretch it one side and whether Bernardo goes the other, but just to create space for the wider positions. But I think he's almost trying to encourage Ruben Diaz as well to step in and maybe play that pass a touch quicker, which maybe that gives you a little bit of space. But that's one thing I think. Let's just do it quicker, go for it. You look what they do, straight away they just put you on the back foot, turn you around, and maybe a little bit of that wide positions will give us the better chance.
It'll be interesting to see how Nunes is as well, because at the end of the first half he was injured. Rico Lewis was out there with the ball at his feet. You expect him to do the same role as Nunes in terms of being inverted very much. Nunes was pushing really well.
It's hard to go in and join, hasn't it? Rico Lewis can do that quite comfortably, so let's see if he can carry on as well. There was a challenge as well on Phil Foden. Elliot Anderson right onto his shin, which I thought they possibly could have looked at. You might be careful, your hair might all run.
I thought he was about to get caught there.
Yeah, be careful, all that might come out. I got caught a little bit, but I can deal with it, it's fine.
Yeah, so can I wasn't worried at all. I was worried about the legend here. But I mean, second half, we want to see the ball moved a little bit quicker, maybe a couple more chances created. It's not like we haven't created chances, though.
He won't be too disappointed. He'll say, OK, we've done our job. We respect the opposition first. But I do feel as the game starts to open up, then we will be able to create more. If we do that, we'll go and win. They're quite happy and content saying, OK, we'll happily go 0-0. We take another point, we'll move on to another.
Yeah, it does seem that way. Both sides would probably be happy with a point here on this Saturday afternoon. We'll see you at full time. Brownie, off you go back to the commentary where he's doing an amazing job.
Thanks to FG and to Michael Brown, and I may or may not have cheered when the sprinklers got them. Decide for yourself. Although it looks so glorious there, I bet that was actually quite refreshing for them. So if we look forward, I think we've covered the first half. If we look forward to the second half now, there is a chance there. FG said that he saw Rico Lewis warming up on the pitch. Obviously, we saw that Matheus Nunes went down worryingly again off the ball towards the end of that first half. If Rico comes on in place of Matheus Nunes, what will he bring? What difference will he bring to the game, do you think?
Not massive. He'll play a very similar role. He's equally comfortable stepping into the central midfield area. I mean, Nunes' previous games when he's playing that right back had got down the outside a little bit more, but there's not really any space to do that today because Forest defend deep. So all his work was coming inside. So if there's no space there, then you can't exploit what's not there. So if he was to come on, I would expect him to step into that central midfield area very, very similar. So I don't think it'd be too much different from a City point of view.
Do you think Forest might target that side of the pitch now, knowing that he's just come on, if he does come on at the start of that second half?
Maybe so, with the pace of Elanga on the left or Hudson-Odoi, whichever side they both play on. So yeah, probably. Listen, the game needs to. I'm not so sure I'd be watering the pitch, by the way, because I think City need to move the ball a lot quicker and zipping around because they ain't going to get in behind because Forest sit so deep. So they need to move the ball a lot quicker if they're to create opportunities. But Forest are just content in letting them play slowly. I wouldn't have watered the pitch because I would have made sure that they can't zip the ball around any quicker. But yeah,
Old school would have probably grown the grass long in the corner as well.
Absolutely, yeah. Stop them from playing at every opportunity. Watering the pitch won't do that. But if City are to win this game, they certainly need to start moving the ball around a little bit quicker because Forest will just sit there all day long.
Now, Mark, I've got to tell you, I had a text from my dad during the game and he watched the pre-match show and he says that he always loves your Brian Clough stories.
Okay.
And he told me to ask you to do your Brian Clough voice.
OK, well, we're not doing too bad at the moment, and we like sitting in, and we'll catch them on the counter-attack. So we'll stick with that one.
That was brilliant. Thanks, Dad.
There you go, Dad.
I love that. That was brilliant. Thank you. Much appreciate that. So that's thrown me. How good that was. Kit, what else? What do you want to see from City in the second half?
I'm still laughing at that. Yeah, just a few more shots on target, obviously. I think, as the boys are saying, the space is going to be, if you get the ball wide quickly and then try and get the wingers 1v1 and then get balls in the box for Erling Haaland. But, I mean, the best chance was Nico, which didn't even count as a shot on target because it hit the outside of the post. But that's the closest effort we've had. But some more efforts on goal for sure.
Yeah. Absolutely. Now, one of our teams did have some efforts on goal this week because if you missed it, the under-19s got through to the quarterfinals of the UEFA Youth League this week. Ben Wilkinson's side beat Hoffenheim 2-1 on Wednesday afternoon to book their spot in the last 8, where they will meet Dutch side AZ Alkmaar. Now, AZ Alkmaar beat Real Madrid in the round of 16. We are going to be away again. That'll be 3 away knockout games in a row. But here you go. You're seeing the highlights here. It was first half goals from Matty Warhurst and Regan Heskey sealed the win. A fantastic defensive performance as well that prevented the German side from progressing. So the next round is this Wednesday, the 2nd of April. It's a 5 p.m. kick-off. So a huge congratulations to Ben and the team here. So we're going to see the winning goal in just a second. This is Regan Heskey. It's coming up. There we go. I'd like to see some shots like that in this game now in the second half. Let's have a look at this again. Lovely movement inside. Oh, and he tucks that right underneath. Congratulations there. So Pep Guardiola is back out there into the Nottingham sunshine. The second half is coming up. Get the commentary with Alistair Mann and Michael Brown on the Manchester City app. Come back and join us at the end of the game. Kit and Mark and I will be here hopefully talking about City jumping into the 3rd spot in the Premier League. Over to Ali.
Yeah, welcome back to the City ground. Arsenal drew their last game, Nottingham Forest drew their last game at home to Arsenal 0-0. All the evidence suggests they might be looking for something similar today. City have had a lot of the ball, we knew they would. Forest have sat deep, absorbed and, to be fair, restricted City to very little. And looking at the fixtures that remain for both these two teams, a draw would by no means be a disaster for either of them. But there is an opportunity here for City to go up into 3rd, go above Nottingham Forest with a victory. It would be a fantastic win if they could get it. Remember, in the last 4 home games, they've drawn at home to Liverpool and drawn at home to Arsenal. They'd love to, at the very least, draw at home to City today, Nottingham Forest. There is the potential for an injury for Matheus Nunes, so we'll keep our eye out to see if he can run it off and be pain-free in the second half. But Rico Lewis was warming up vigorously, but at the moment, looks as though they're going to try and persevere with Matheus Nunes. On commentary duty with me today is the former City midfielder Michael Brown. Michael, the way that Forest have played hasn't surprised us. Is there anything different that could be done? Actually, just a notch, I'm going to pause on that because you talked about it earlier, Michael. The challenge from Anderson that caught Foden round the knee. We've just seen a replay of it here. You were convinced it needed looking at. There's no evidence on the VAR list of information that they ever did.
Yeah, I've seen that.